Hmm. Um. So yeah, I think it's time we end this question mark. Roland got taken away. You gotta get him now. New Princess Peach drop.
Why you? Hey, it's Mr. Shades!
Well, what do we have here? Oh, and you folks got your friend back.
Hello, nice to meet you. My name is Lyria.
I'm Zothba, an information broker. Must have been tough out there, huh, little lady?
Yes, it was.
Zothba, do not frighten the poor child.
Huh? Who's being scary? I'm on my best behavior here.
It pleases me to see that everyone is in good health. I came to lend my support the moment I caught wind of Avia's assault on Seed Hollow.
Speaking of allies, I don't see Roland with you. Where'd he go?
He needs our help.
Your eyes tell me more than words can convey. It must have been a horrific affair.
Maybe we can do something for him, though. You in, Histy?
Most certainly. I am off to make arrangements at once.
All right. Call it intuition, or an overactive gut. But an epic storm's brewing in this here skydom. Don't know how to explain it, but the air's buzzing with emotions. Stuff like joy, anxiety, sadness, anger. You can tell when it's coming to a head. I haven't felt this spooked since the Dolly Island disaster 15 years ago. My point is, you folks ought to haul it back to your own skydom.
What? You can't say that at a time like this!
Look, my sources tell me you hail from Fanta Grande. You've got a fine ship that can cross the Grim Basin. No need to play hero here.
It's not like that. We can't just leave everyone when we know it's coming. Lilith is going to use something called the Pillar of Vayui to destroy the sky.
Hmm.
We just let her do it? And what about Roland?
Let me be the voice of reason here. You saved your princess. Mission accomplished. So what
There
do
he
knights
goes.
do after rescuing the damsel?
Princess Peach is
They
saved.
make sure she stays safe. You're an excellent captain, and so I don't need to spell out your next move for you, do I?
I appreciate the concern.
Well, your crew's grown on me. That's why we'll take it from here.
Oh,
Come on. All I'm saying is don't push your luck.
Luck. It's all skill.
Ah, who am I kidding? We both know I can't talk you out of this. But Zega Grande is our home. At least let us keep our pride. Be seeing you around then. And quit with the long faces. We can handle this.
So then.
Surely.
No
Talk to me,
way.
Historia.
Yeah.
Ready for some action? Great work today, team!
Oh well. Well, shoot.
Oh, it's not Historia. Knew that.
So... Yes. But...
Welcome. Can I take a look?
Combo finisher. Another cascade.
Temper in your weapons? I can make any weapon you want.
These damn griffin feathers. Annoying.
Come again.
Don't let this be your final... I love to barter! What can I trade you for? Got some goodies for ya! If anybody can save the day, it's your... No. Good day. Well then.
So many Fate
So long.
episodes. Let's see these side quests first.
But
Oh. Oh no.
yeah, but
Excellent.
Let's do our best.
Griffin
I
feathers.
knew we could do it.
Well, now.
Work hard, play hard.
Bruh. Defeat a cobra.
Let's come back after we've found a key. Ah,
What should I do?
Let's do our best.
Well.
Let's come back once we found a key. I smell a new mission. Daddy's ain't got
More
nothing on
feathers.
you.
You're coming home.
Just hold on, we're going home. Stamina.
Easier than eating apples.
Excellent.
Sometime after the commotion at Tempeal, life in Folca began to struggle towards normalcy. The breeze was soft and welcoming. I'd been blind to the city's charms before, focused as I was on rescuing Lyria from the Church of Avia. The sun watched over the victims of Furikin's rage as they raised new homes for themselves from the rubble. But once scars have set in, they are slow to fade. Here and there, the children of Tempeal labored with tools too large for their hands. I offered my aid, but the children said their work was their responsibility.
As long as you're sure you'll be okay.
Some distance away, a small boy burst into a red-faced fit. Lyria and I rushed over, hoping to be of help.
Look at all the skill points I have. Okay. Man, I can't. Alright, so we got here.
Intriguing. Seems useful. Great. Interesting. Huh. Excellent. Great. Interesting.
Some of this stuff is actually kind of useless.
Excellent.
So whatever.
Intriguing. Huh.
Okay, that's it. Oh, you get Catalina. AoE. Max out.
Can't wait to try this out! Great! Ready for action! Well, alright. Good stuff! Yeah, I think I get it. Oh, that's how it's done.
What in the world? That's actually useless.
Nice. Ready for action. Nice.
All right. That's nice. Great. Oh, fun. Great.
I actually used so much just now. Interesting. The Tyrant. Family is everything.
Don't try and stop me. I have to do this.
Lisp.
He hurled his words like stones as he whipped into a run. Concerned, I asked a nearby man about the boy. He explained that the boy's sister was ill, and the lad was after the remedy, an herb called windcrest. The sickness was assumed to have died out hundreds of years ago, but had now returned to torment the child.
And if that's not enough, I heard the woods where windcrest grows have turned into a monster den.
The boy had struck out alone. Folka had no soldiers to spare, for they were all dispatched to Tempeal for the reconstruction effort. No one was left to answer his pleas, but I would. In my heart, I vowed to bring back the child, and if possible, the herb too. I prayed only that I wasn't too late.
Gotta find him.
Well, shall we head out?
Well, according to that old villager, this is the place we want to be.
Perfect. Keep your eyes peeled for Windcrest.
Nope, nothing to see this way.
What is this thing? Like, what? Nobody asked for this flashy thing.
Hey, I think I spied some windcrests.
Earth spirits. Strange. We didn't see any the last time we were here.
Seems like they're attracted to the windcrest. Maybe you can feel its power.
Yep.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that was great.
Enchanted lands!
One more. My face walk ready.
What the hell? Where are these birds coming from?
Did you see my magic?
That's why we love you.
Why is there three here?
That should be more than enough.
But we still haven't located the boy. What? Where is that coming from?
I don't know, but it can't be a good sign. We better hurry.
A golem. So that's what was behind the tremors.
Crap, it spotted us. Get ready for a fight. I need you.
You are a blessing.
In the world?
It's over.
Follow me.
Cut them down. Showtime.
That went well.
We'll never back down.
Heard Hurricane's voice just now. I think that when Hurricane covered this archipelago in storm, some of its power fused with the land and the monster. I appreciate it.
What is this?
Such brutality.
The time is right.
You're weaker now.
Get them all through. Just like we practiced.
It was a pleasure. Hurry! Get right behind you.
I need on guard. All through the ranks. Let's finish them.
Man, can I get some of that hurricane juice too? This golem is strong.
We can't afford to let it run free. Not while that boy remains missing.
Show 'em your trick.
Just like that.
They're furious.
Be careful.
Bro.
I'll protect you from anything. Any last wishes? Enchanted lands! Follow me! We make quite the team.
Thanks. Let's watch the next one too.
Let's do it.
What are you doing? Nobody told you to do that.
Let's do this.
Stop. Why does it not die until the end?
Is it safe now?
I recognize that voice. With a final death knell, the golem stilled. The boy crawled out from the tall grass, and I pressed the wind crest into his trembling hand.
Wow! Now I can save my sister! You're the best, lady!
He smiled at me, and with a great burden lifted from his shoulders, skipped the whole way back to Folka. As I watched his happy shuffle, I wished more joy and color into his life of
The
toil,
truffle shuffle.
which had been covered by the dust of destruction.
Lots. That's what we like.
Good day.
Even more.
We made medicine from the wind crest you picked. The doctor said Hazel looks better every day.
Whoa.
This morning, she was able to get out of bed and do some drawing. She loves drawing pictures. Thanks again, Catalina. From Al.
And Hazel.
P.S.
Hazel.
Please visit Folka when you have a chance.
Oh, what? That's it? Okay. Then. How many are there? I hate you. Who are you talking to? More kids. What is this?
While out running errands in Folka one day, I came across a crowd of people in the town square. But from the sounds of things, it wasn't a friendly get-together.
I hate you all! Mom, Dad, everybody in this stupid town!
The boy shouted angrily at the adults and took off running, right into me. We both landed on our backsides. Sheesh, watch where you're going, kid. And that's when I noticed the tears streaming down his face. He was clearly upset about something. Hey, you okay? The boy hopped to his feet without a word, shooting me a glare before sprinting away. One of the adults started to follow after him, but
Please, Doctor, there's not much time.
the crowd stopped him in his tracks.
But I can't just... No, you're right. My patients need me. Forgive me, Lev.
The man closed his eyes, muttered something to the townspeople, and ran off in the opposite direction. Wait, that kid was crying! You're not gonna go after him? I shouted after the man's back, but he either didn't hear me, or pretended not to. Then I felt a gentle hand on my shoulder.
I'm sure he wants to, sweetheart. You see, that boy is his son.
The boy's name was Lev. His father was a doctor, with many patients needing urgent care, so he had no choice but to ask the townspeople to find a son for him. I knew I should mind my own business, but I couldn't get the poor kid's face out of my head. He was probably hiding somewhere all by himself, crying his eyes out. I understood all too well how painful it felt to be alone. When Master Sokka reached out to me, it changed my life forever. Maybe it was my turn to do the same for someone else. I turned to ask the crew if we could join the search, but they were already gearing up to head after him. It seemed we'd all had the same idea. Just you wait, Lev, I thought to myself. I was gonna find him and put a smile back on his face, even if it meant sticking my nose where it didn't belong.
It's just a phase. Nobody pays attention to me. Let me get other people in the party, because I don't need these guys getting.
You wouldn't leave your sister behind.
Do you need the strength of a king?
I compliment any bouquet. My. I'll make good use of this. I can't wait to debut this. Power blooms within.
Yes, nothing. It's just a phase.
The villagers didn't seem too worried about Lev. According to them, he'd have to venture much deeper into the forest before encountering any monsters. But that wasn't the issue. It seemed like nobody wanted to talk about why he'd run off in the first place. It was an obvious cry for help, and nobody was helping. I went through the same thing back in the day. Even after I met my master, there were times when the loss of my parents was just too much to bear. I didn't go so far as to run from home, but I'd sit alone in the corner of my room, hugging my knees to my chest and crying. Whenever Master Zaka found me like that, he'd always perform a silly magic trick to cheer me up. Just like me, all Lev wanted was for someone to find him, to take his hand, so he went off on his own in the hopes that someone would come for him. I'm sure he knew it was selfish, but it was the only card he felt he had left.
Do you think this means Lev doesn't want to live at home anymore?
I had a feeling that wasn't the case. He's probably just going through a rebellious phase.
Oh, that's when kids start arguing and acting out, right? Catalina told me it's pretty common. Did you have a phase like that?
Lyria's question was innocent enough, but I was too embarrassed to admit that I'd ever gone off alone because I wanted someone to pay attention to me. Heck no! That's not something befitting of a good lady like myself. So what if I told a little lie? Our biggest concern right now was Lev, who was out there, probably crying with his back up against some rough, silent tree.
Why is this back to back?
He needed a friend,
Find
and I was
kids.
more than determined to be one for him. This forest is as huge as ever. I sure hope Lev's okay.
Come on! We gotta find him! And fast!
Why is it showing in the bottom left that I'm in hold SBA? Didn't show that when it's auto. Yeah, like what?
We're still on the edge of the forest, right? What are goblins doing here?
Meet your doom! You were holding back.
Forgive me. I don't do well with fruits.
There's no time to waste. We've gotta find him.
Okay, EO's too good. I know if I'd play her, I'd like her a lot.
Watch out for the flyers! We're gonna need that
Fuck
magic
you.
of yours, EO!
The final foam on the sea. I don't see him anywhere.
That's a lot of monsters. Guess we'll just have to take them all out.
I'm on it.
One more incoming!
Oh, come on! Just leave us alone already! Pass away!
Meet your doom!
What's your name?
Don't play too hard now. There.
The butterfly and the
It's on!
crimson
Heads up! Like that's the last of them.
Let's all alone out there! Come on!
Black hole. What in the world? What in the world? Oh yeah, you could talk to my boy Mokelicious. He'll help you out with that kind of stuff.
Look, there he is. Over there.
You could add him on the Discord.
I'm the one you want! Done,
Watch
Blythe.
out for
I
the
will
shield.
love you.
Know your place!
Foam on the
Back,
sea.
knave!
What do you think?
Certain as death.
You want more?
After me. They shall fall.
Sorry yet? Keep your wits about you.
Of course.
Bold of you to order me. Meet your doom!
A bloom for enemies.
Can't keep up?
Gravity well.
Let loose the fires of war!
Heads up.
Don't worry, they're gone now. You okay?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
We were lucky we found Lev when we did, or he would have been Monster Chow. But before we could talk to him, the town watch came hurrying over.
Lev, your parents are worried sick about you. Come on, let's go home.
Lev looked away, ignoring the old man's outstretched hand. I could imagine how he was feeling, being treated like he was selfish and immature, when all he wanted was someone to sit down and talk to. The man sighed and scratched his head in frustration.
Your mom and dad are fine people. Try being a little more considerate, okay?
Lev immediately bristled at those words, breaking his silence.
What do you know? This is all your fault!
Knocking the man's hand out of the way, he turned and ran deeper into the forest. It was like watching a scene from my own past, but I wished he'd get a grip already. The deeper he went into the forest, the more likely he was to get attacked. We had to hurry.
There's more? We crit and we crit and we crit
Need
some
something?
more. Trick and treat.
We all split up to search for Lev so we could cover more ground. I didn't see any trace of him at first, so I thought I must have gone the wrong way. But then I noticed footprints that looked like someone had slipped over a nearby ledge. And sure enough, when I peeked down, I saw a familiar figure sitting hunched over, knees to his chest. He looked a little scraped up, but didn't seem to be hurt badly. I was just glad I'd managed to find him still in one piece. When I told him I was a Skyfarer, he immediately burst into tears of relief. I could tell he was upset with the villagers about something, and that's why he couldn't be honest with them. But as an outsider, I thought I might have a chance. Watch closely. I'm gonna cast some special magic just for you. It was time for one of my master's patented magic tricks. I showed Lev my empty palm before covering it with a handkerchief. I flung the cloth away, and voila! There was a piece of candy in my hand.
Wow, candy!
Here, you can have it. After devouring the candy, he finally calmed down.
Thanks.
Normally, that would have been enough to lift any kid's spirits, but his face fell again as quickly as it had lit up. I guess he really doesn't want to go home. I decided I wouldn't leave him until there was a smile back on his face.
On the run again.
While we were still deep in the woods, I decided to ask Lev up front. Why did you run away? He hesitated at first, but after seeing that I was serious, he started to open up.
My mom and dad used to work as doctors in Tempeal.
Back then, all had been well with their family. But when Furikin went berserk, they lost their home and ended up moving to Folka. That was when things started to fall apart. His parents began to spend all of their time tending to patients who were affected by the disaster, with hardly a moment's rest. Lev watched as his mom got paler and the black circles under her eyes grew darker and darker. He begged her to take a break, but it was no use. Eventually, she collapsed from overwork.
I told her she wouldn't be able to help people anymore if she got sick. She just wouldn't listen to me.
And here I thought he was just a kid going through a rebellious phase. That wasn't the case at all. That's really grown up of you, Lev. You're just worried about your mom and dad, huh?
Yeah.
After hearing Lev's explanation, I finally understood how he felt. I knew how hard it was watching people you cared about pushing themselves too hard. I couldn't stand to see my master doing it either. And that's exactly what was going through Lev's mind. He wasn't being selfish. Everything he did, it was because he loved his parents. If it were me in his shoes, I'm sure I'd be worried sick about my parents too. There's nothing wrong with worrying about your parents. I'm sure they're proud to have a son who cares so much.
But
what? Something was still on his mind.
I always wanted to be a great doctor, just like my mom and dad. But after my mom collapsed, I started thinking maybe everybody else was just using them.
Along the way, he'd stopped being able to trust the people of Folka, and he thought feeling that way meant he could never follow in his parents' footsteps. Lev stared at the ground as he spoke, finally confiding his troubles to me. After hearing his story, I began to open up about my own parents. He listened to my words in silence. My parents had also strained themselves too hard after getting sick, and eventually passed away. So Lev's circumstances were all too familiar. Just like him, I felt nothing but bitterness and despair. But there was one difference. I've got to admit, I envy you a little. After all, your mom and dad are still alive and well. While we were standing there talking, Lev's parents and the villagers were probably beside themselves with worry, braving the dangers of the forest to search for him. When I told him that, Lev finally seemed to grasp the situation.
I really messed up, didn't I? I'm sorry.
Are you sure I'm the person you should be saying that to? I stood up and smiled at Lev. He and his family all seemed like really good people. The only thing they needed to patch their home back together was a long heart-to-heart.
Level 50? Wait, what? He's just not leveled enough. That's not good.
During our stay in Seed Hollow, a certain request made its way into our hands. We were to inspect sightings of a mysterious young girl near the Seed Hollow castle.
You don't think she's a ghost, do you?
Ghost?
I put a hand on Lyria's shoulder to comfort her, and asked the client for more details. According to reports, the young girl appeared to be looking for something. Workers helping with the castle's restoration effort would attempt to approach her, but she would vanish before they could get close. Each sighting would spook another handful of builders, until there weren't enough hands to complete repairs. By all accounts, it seemed to be a ghost. Of course, I couldn't admit that to Lyria. It was not uncommon for spirits to take refuge in ancient ruins or castles, and play tricks on any unfortunate souls passing by. They were almost never malicious, even friendly sometimes. However, we couldn't take our chances. I just wished we had more information to work with. There was something familiar about this story. I just couldn't quite put my finger on it.
We made another pit stop in Seed Hollow, which gave me the chance to check up on Malfira and her progress with the blanket. Lyria and Vern came with me, and their eyes lit up when they saw her intricate embroidery, just like mine did that first sunny day. Though I hadn't known Malfira for very long, I felt a kinship with her, and I liked to watch her determination evolve with each new stitch. But most of all, I liked that her kind smile, maternal and comforting, was always able to put me at ease. I'd never met anyone so genuine. In fact, nor had my pets.
Who's a spooky boy? Yes, you are.
Malfira playfully scratched behind Beppo's ears. The
Peppa.
mood was light,
Gigi.
so I decided to learn a little more about my friend. I noticed you're in the Central Plaza quite often.
More or less. I don't have much else to occupy my time. Not with that silly boy still playing in the sand.
Malfira's partner was a geologist on dispatch in Dali, an extended dispatch, it seemed. Dali was an island of deserts,
Partner,
with
huh?
bitterly cold nights. To Malfira, a cozy blanket seemed the perfect way to combat the harsh environment.
Maybe it won't be necessary. He's coming back for a visit on the Airbus next month, and I'm about to burst with excitement.
Her joy should have been infectious. Try as I might to put on a brave face, my heart sank at her words. The Airbus from Dali? Of course.
Does she know? Possible.
My road to the Defense Corps was short, but troubled.
This world is being drowned in tears of suffering. Poor wretches, join us on the ship of salvation and sail to the island of Estalucia.
It began when I happened upon a man in the city streets, preaching the creed of Avia. Though we had overthrown the main body of the church at Seed Hollow Castle, still its teachings lived on. Its adherents once numbered in the thousands, and the remnants yet drifted through the skies like ghosts. Now they haunted Folka, hoping to once again breathe life into their crusade. But the city folk had learned that Avia would sacrifice anything on the altar of salvation. Their gilded words held no more value.
Get out of here! We know what you did at Seed Hollow!
We aren't inviting tragedy into our city. Leave!
As the throng railed, unease stirred within me. The adherents of Avia would march on an armed country if their leader so much as waved her hand. What could heated words do but spark their anger?
I came to offer you salvation. If you won't drink from the cup of mercy, you will taste divine retribution!
Voices soared, and the air grew heavy with the threat of violence. Yet the Defense Corps, who were charged with keeping the peace, did not appear. You there, tell me. I asked a man why mediators had failed to come.
I'd be surprised if they did show. Without Mr. Fix-It to help them, bastards can't even wipe their own asses!
Though I had expected it, seeing the proof of their cowardice still astonished me.
Silence! Now it's clear. If we want to break in your minds, first we've got to break in your bodies!
What are you doing? Let go of me!
An Avieth crusader, lifting an islander by his collar, raised up a fist. But I seized his arm before the blow could land. Strike him, and you will lose that hand. I will not suffer the defenseless to be oppressed.
You miscreant! How dare you threaten a member of the church!
You speak of threats. You would force your doctrine on the unwilling with an iron fist. The time of Avia is over, preacher. Your false church is no more.
Blasphemy! We'll have your tongue for that!
Avieth soldiers surrounded me, drawing their weapons. I had hoped you would listen to reason. But now I see, you only understand pain. With a hand on the hilt of my sword, I waited for them to attack. But like craven dogs that bark loudest when their quarry is far ahead, the Crusaders stopped short when I stood to face them. After sharing some whispered counsel with his fellows, the preacher said to me,
We won't fight you in the city. No. Be too much hassle cleaning off the flagstones. Let's step outside, and then we'll see if that bulky armor is compensating for something.
I could not hold back a laugh. Their intent was as clear as day. They meant to draw me into an ambush. Very well. I will play your game.
We'll wipe that smirk off your face. Just you wait.
The Crusaders and I turned to leave.
He's going to get himself killed!
Call the Defense Corps! Even those worms should be able to do something!
Frightened voices whirled behind me. I did not quiet them, for though 3,000 ants of Avia could not crush one lion of Wales, I saw a chance to further test the core. Set out.
Death to all who interfere with Avia's sacred mission!
You have abandoned mercy for violence and wisdom for bigotry. How dare you call your cause sacred?
Is that what this does?
You can't.
I was looking at the other one.
To the fight!
Back to war.
Just one word! Why can't we crush him?
Strength of will is reflected in strength of arms.
So this interloper is why you failed to appear at the appointed hour.
Aid us, brethren!
You cannot achieve victory by numbers.
Shield!
On your knees.
What the hell?
Back to war. Let loose. Back, knave.
Wait, whoa.
Succumb to fear. Erect. Challenge.
Everything has like a 10-year animation with you guys.
Succumb to fear.
Kneel!
'Tis strange. Though a great battle rages on their doorstep, the Corps do not appear. Do they sleep?
My poor brethren. You won't like what's coming to you, interloper. It's Brother Avalon. The redhead's done for.
I see.
So,
On your knees. Music.
What? Shield! Know your place! Back to war! You can't
On your knees.
Back to the void.
Let loose the fires of war.
You cannot win. To the fire! It's over!
What a name!
Are you ready? Back to the void. It's over! Cowards!
Scatter like shadows at dawn! Low and wolf!
I know you. The Lord of Flames.
I see my name has reached even the dregs of Zega Grande.
His fire is the fire of hell.
Come forth, if you've any courage left.
Damn you! Damn you to the bottom of the skies!
Damn you!
Crusaders took quickly to their heels. The weakest dogs bark the loudest. I sheathed my sword, judging pursuit to be a waste of time. I doubted the cowards would ever return.
There's one over there!
Alerted by a voice, I looked up to see a group of soldiers hurrying towards me.
The weakest dogs
Their
bark the
livery was
loudest.
not of Avia, and they carried their weapons with the grace of a schoolboy wielding his first quill. I had a good guess of who they were. After they had ringed me about with spear points and blades, one cried,
No funny moves, or we'll skewer you like a pig!
"Who are you, and what business do you have with me?"
Of course you don't recognize us, or you'd be shaking in your fancy boots. Listen up.
I'm shaking
I'm
in my
Douglas,
boots.
captain of the Falcon Defense Corps. You one of the Avia rats that raised hell in our city?
Better come quietly, or you'll be sorry!
For a moment,
at these
amazement
bums.
wrested from me the power of speech. Then I said, "Surely you do not believe I am a servant of Avia?"
Don't play dumb! Who else would wear that tacky armor?
What
Yeah.
did you call my armor? I had always known my garb to be striking. So is the livery of all great kings and lords. For on the midnight field of battle, the general must ever be the brightest star. Thus may he enkindle courage in friends, and show the
Okay.
enemy he is not afraid. My own armor was well worn, and had shielded me from many dangers. To speak ill of it was a grave affront.
We're taking you back to the station, and don't even think about running.
What's so funny?
Nothing. Nothing at all. In truth, this was a matter more to weep than to laugh at. The proud guards of Folka, arriving like carrion crows after the battle to pick at what spoils they may. It was a pitiful sight.
It's a
Defense
sad sight.
corpses, indeed. Do what you will. And so I was marched back to the city.
They even get levels? Whoa, was she 34? I thought she was like 35. What's this?
This'll be interesting.
Did I miss that?
Hello.
The Defense Corps questioned me at their guardhouse. An enlightening experience, as I had never been a prisoner before.
All right, fess up. Tell me exactly how you're connected to the Church of Avia.
I repelled a group of crusaders that threatened your people. You had no right to apprehend me.
Shut your mouth!
That was all Captain Douglas could stutter out before retreating into silence. Has guilt caught your tongue? I know your actions weigh on your conscience.
If you're trying to scare me, Mr. High and Mighty...
I am trying to help you. Now take heed. As keepers of peace, you are given the authority to take prisoners. But it is not a power to be used lightly. For to imprison someone is to rob them of time, and not all the riches in the world can repay that debt. I went on with hardly a pause. Today you failed your duty. You did not come when your people were in peril. Had I not been there, blood would have been spilled in your streets. And yet you seized me on sight like a petty thief, with no proof other than your own prejudices. I let my final words fall like the stroke of a hammer. You have dishonored your titles and your city. Color fled from the soldiers' faces, leaving only remorse.
Hey, Captain, I think he might be right. We did kind of arrest him for just being there and wearing tacky armor.
Don't let him get to you!
Now the soldiers began to contend amongst themselves. They had to keep quiet about my capture, said one, or there could be trouble. If only they had not delayed after hearing reports of violence, said another. It was good fortune, countered a third, that they had not run into Avia. So on and on they argued in circles, aimless, like a dog chasing its tail. Until at last, Douglas, his impatience boiling over, burst forth with,
All right, fine. Fancy Pants, you're acquitted. Now scram!
No. Seeing the soldiers at a loss,
Why are they still
Since
like
you have
so
taken my time,
confused?
I now ask you to share some of yours. I hear that your ranks are corrupted with frailty and disorder. From whence did this rot first spread?
Why should we tell you, huh? You got nothing to do with it.
Because I desire
At the
and
roots.
command it. For a moment, Douglas could only stare.
Come on, Captain. Just give him what he wants. Yeah, I don't think this guy takes no for an answer.
Okay, Rubelox, you win. Now pipe down and listen up.
And so the captain and soldiers of the Corps told me of their history and their malcontent.
After the war, Zega Grande was left undisturbed for 500 years.
This peace, like a deep sleep, had dulled the minds and limbs of Volca's warriors. So when the Crusades of Avia roused them at last, they were found weak and unready.
Still, we did all right in the beginning. You probably don't know him, but we used to have a Mr. Fix-It in the city. Went by the name of Roland? Angel of a man, but he fought like a demon.
The strength of Roland was their fortress, to which the Corps could rally if the battle went ill. When he vanished, the soldiers were left without their greatest defense.
So, there we were, a group of idiots who could barely tell the butt of a spear from its head, left to play this game of cat and mouse.
Self-loathing seeped into Douglas's voice.
I know what everyone thinks of us. I know what they call us. But do you think we're wimps because we want to be? Now that Roland's gone, sending my Corps to war, a real war, would be sending my brothers and sisters to death.
Captain Douglas, you've been trying to protect us this whole time?
I sighed. Why do the best intentions so often lead us astray? Very well. For your sakes and mine, I will help the Corps regain its former glory. Maybe by rebuilding this fallen band, I would learn a lesson in how to lay the foundations for a kingdom.
Well then. Somebody's watching me.
Curious about the girl in her garden. I headed once more toward the forest on the outskirts of Folka.
I never had a chance to thank you for the other day.
Though she was more lively than before, her spirit was clearly drained.
I guess it feels wrong to call you Mr. Reaper now.
The name's Vasaraga. The girl introduced herself as Irene. As she spoke, I noticed her wrist was wrapped in a bandage. I asked if she was injured, but this caused her to grimace.
Oh, this? It's fine. I just, cut myself is all.
In a thinly veiled attempt to change the subject, Irene offered me some juice made from homegrown fruit.
This is the least I can do to thank you. Do you want to drink some together?
Apple. Not bad. We sat at her table and began to chat. She told me that she hailed from Grossgard, a small region near Seed Hollow. Having just moved to Folka, she was still a new face to the locals. Do you take care of the garden by yourself?
Yes.
Tense. Holding in on herself like a withering flower, she became the complete opposite of the girl I watched happily watering her plants. But it was not her forlorn expression that gripped me. It was the mist. Ever her formless companion, a swirling miasma seemed just beyond her perception. There were far worse things in the skies than a little smoke, but I knew this was more than it seemed. Mind if I stop by again? I could visit between requests. I wanted to help her, but not out of a misguided sense of obligation. I just wanted to make sure she never forgot what it was like to smile.
Okay. What? Alright. Yeah, that was a lot of Fate episodes. We're learning some more. I don't even know if I want to do story point. We got another card here.
Will you take this one? Be on your way.
Let's do it as hard as possible.
Where are we going?
Bruh, why is this guy
On your road.
always gotta be in a party?
My hour has come.
Oh my god. Let's see. What level is it?
Big sister will help you fight. I will love you. Oh, thank you.
Challenging a wolf. Know your place.
The tide rises. Go on the sea.
Seize them.
I'm right behind you.
Continue the assault.
Very true. Understood. Not yet. You're right. They've been lost to anger. The pond.
No!
You're mine.
Let's go!
Excellent work, everyone.
With pleasure. The final come with me. Come here. Thank you, Captain.
That's the only combo I know.
Well done.
good.
What do you think? A bloom for any season.
I'm just frozen. Lovely stuff. Very lovely stuff.
Wait for me. You still got work to do. I will never give in.
I will be your guiding light.
You want to move. Foam on the sea. Crimson Dawn. No counting on your mark. Beautiful. The tide rises. Rain on the hill. No mercy. Ready. Impressive. The tide swells. All is swept away. Captain!
I'll get him! Tempest, flame! Rosetta!
Solid ground! Percival!
Behold! Your fate is sealed! Shine is one! Tide of chaos! Now that's
Harmony is the
teamwork,
basis
Glamour
of
Open.
power. I must disappoint. Come, Crimson Sword!
You broke them.
What do you think? Rain on the hill. Teach them some manners. Rocket Moon.
Did you see that?
Gold Moon. Crimson Sword. Beat him down. Great victory. A bloom for enemies. Tide rises. Lovely. Foam on the sea.
All together!
They shall fall.
Ay, ay, ay. What? What's happening to it? That's right.
That was awesome. You were awesome. Look at me. Lovely. Wonderful. Balance is restored.
Okay.
Don't let this be your final battle.
Crew, man, crew.
Who should we vote?
Actually thinking either Lancelot, Siegfried. I haven't really seen Lance anyway.
Did you wait long, Captain? I am Lancelot, Captain of the White Dragon!
What the hell? Mash, 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 triangle. Yeah, actually, it seems pretty bad.
Away with you! Too slow! Show no quarter! Fall! Wide open! Yeah! Give it! Put this! Away with you!
This level?
Away with you! Wide open! Keep up! Name! Stay focused! Too slow! On guard! Wide open! Away with you!
How are they making like this? What is this?
Stay focused! Stay focused!
Who did this?
Too slow! Wide open! Quake
This
and
gotta be
fear!
the most nonsense character I've ever
On
seen.
ivory wing! Right? Flugel! Fall! Give it! You won't prevail!
Tragic.
If anybody can save the day, it's your crew. No.
What's he got for it?
Hello.
The wind. Riding aboard the Grand Cipher, soaring across yet another cloud bank, I felt a pang of envy. The wind goes where it pleases, and it arrives when it may, a quality I have long sought to adapt to my fighting style. Here I stood in comparison, shackled to my duties as captain of a knightly order. Oft have I imagined the brighter futures I might have discovered, if only I were faster, more like the gale. Had I risen like a storm front, I could have prevented wars. Had I rushed like a squall, I could have circumvented tragedy. But as the wind continues flowing forward, so too does the passage of time. Idle ponderings would change nothing. I had exchanged my freedom for the greater good. Quietly, I repeated a promise I made long ago. Henceforth, I shall endeavor to combat adversity, so much as I can, for as long as I live. Happily, this hasn't been a hard course to follow, for it runs parallel to the path of the crew, gracious hosts and, on occasion, lively companions.
I want you to broaden your horizons for the betterment of our kingdom.
I now see the wisdom and kindness behind King Carl's decree. For it was my journey aboard the Grand Cipher that taught me how to cast control to the winds, to ride unbound and at the mercy of the gales.
Not gonna talk about how they went after Siegfried?
When I was a boy, my best friend's parents were killed by wyverns. After witnessing the depth of his grief, I decided I would become a knight. I would protect the kingdom from monsters and the tragedies they wrought. But there was one massive wall standing between me and my goal. It was not aptitude, for I had some talent with the sword, but the station of my birth.
What about the Lady of the Lake?
At that time, Fiendrock was a kingdom run by its aristocracy. Commoners were restricted to a life of labor, and the knightly orders were composed entirely of noble houses. Immediately I was rejected, told that I could offer my sweat to the crown, but not my blood, for it lacked the proper lineage. I was not deterred. Who was to say that our stone-walled villages could not breed warriors as well as our gold-gilded courts? I studied, I trained, and I worked harder than any man had ever worked to become a knight. In the end, my efforts bore fruit. Siegfried, who at the time was still in the service of the king, understood my plight and changed the course of history. He allowed me into the order of Black Dragon Knights. But uneasy rests the commoner with new acquired titles. The nobility would only be too eager to dismiss me over the slightest misstep and prevent the chivalrous orders from being contaminated by peasant filth. I could not fail. The weight of my people and the future of the kingdom spurred me. I had to become the perfect knight. My ascension was not easy. If given a choice, I might have chosen a different path. But when I had at last emerged from the crucible of trial and tragedy, I was a changed man.
Yeah.
I was the captain of the White Dragon Knights.
Oh, Captain, my Captain. Oh, they're actually addressing
My mentor, Siegfried, was captain of the Black Dragon Knights. He once saved the kingdom by killing the dreaded dragon, Fafnir, and vouched for me when no other would. So when my friend and counselor was convicted of regicide, I felt betrayed. Siegfried's downfall thrust upon me the leadership of the newly dubbed White Dragon Knights, and I swore to bend all my power toward bringing him to justice. In hindsight, this anger was misplaced, foolish. There was no reason for Siegfried to assassinate the king. I should have deduced Royal Consul Isabella's hidden coup, long before turning on a man whom I knew to be steadfast and honorable. My mind trembled under the pressure of newfound responsibility. It howled and grieved for the loss of a beloved king. I know that this amounts to no more than an excuse. It was my flash judgment that drove me away from Siegfried when he needed me most. Had I been left to my own devices, the conspiracy may have never been brought to light. But I had Vayne and Percival at my side, and though hunted by all the country, Siegfried himself infiltrated Isabella's cabal and alerted me to their treachery. I may owe the biggest debt, however, to the Skyfaring Captain, whose aid was instrumental in restoring peace to Fiendrock. After the dust had settled, His Majesty King Carl decreed that I explore other countries so I could gain experience befitting my new station. Thus, I became another crewmate aboard the Grand Cipher. Since then, I have visited various lands. I have seen myriad peoples and their responses to numerous threats. I have learned many things and gained many new teachers, and as they have given freely to me, someday I hope to give back to them. But there are yet countless leagues to travel, so on I sail across the skies, seeking the strength and wisdom necessary for a true leader.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
Zega Grande Skydom. How much time had passed since our arrival here? With our battles against the Church of Avia and the pacification of many primals, it certainly felt like a lifetime. But now that things were a little quieter, we were content to return to our usual bread and butter, satisfying requests from locals. Though the crew was accustomed to quests of all sorts, one day there came a demand that left us puzzled.
Sorry for the confusion, folks. This request isn't for the whole crew. It's an escort mission for Lancelot, specifically.
Me? But why? There were few in this Skydom who had even heard of my name. Curious, I asked about Hans, the man who had posted the quest.
Oh, you don't know him? Seems like he was real familiar with you. Anyways, he's a butler for the Lord of Grosvenor.
Hans.
I hesitated. There was nothing I could do that another crewmate couldn't accomplish just as well. Acknowledging a specific request for me felt...
Surely.
discourteous, in a way.
You're not at your fancy-ass court anymore, okay? On our ship, you don't have to worry about rubbing anyone's ego the wrong way. If you're interested in the job, just take it.
Is that
Though he
Wigan?
may not have been tactful,
Oh, it
Wigan
was.
was, as ever, a fount of wisdom. Very well, then. I shall hear what this Hans has to say.
It is a pleasure to meet you. I am Hans, butler to his lordship.
The next day, an elderly man ambled onto the Grand Cipher, leaning heavily on his cane. But looking into his eyes, I sensed deep wisdom and a sharp mind. And the pleasure is mine. I am Lancelot, a Skyfarer. Forgive me for not accepting your request at once, but I would like more details before returning an answer.
Yes, well, his lordship Ludwin is in need of an escort.
Hans explained. Ludwin was a lord of Grosgard, and he was looking for a mythical sword passed down through his family for generations.
Excalibur.
So far, his search had led them to a snowy peak, but nearby monsters made the trip too dangerous to risk without protection. Does your lord not employ a personal guard?
He does. But as this quest is for personal gain, he believes that commanding their service would be an abuse of power. However, the lords of Grosgard have never been gifted in the martial arts. So if we head to the mountains without a decent sword arm, tragedy will surely befall us.
But what led you to seek my sword arm specifically?
Well, we knew we needed a highly experienced Skyfarer. The mission is dangerous, far too dangerous for any amateur. But perhaps more importantly, his lordship is quite the fan of yours, Sir Lancelot.
A fan? My voice cracked in surprise.
Yes,
Peak
you are known
comedy.
as a knight exemplar, talented in both combat and scholarship. How fortunate that this very same Lancelot would come to our land and proffer his services.
Whatever accounts you've heard of me were surely exaggerated.
And so humble. Lord Ludwin will be overjoyed when he hears that we've secured your aid. The honorable Sir Lancelot to protect us. What could be better? So, will you accept?
Though this idolatry did not sit well with me, I could see no reason to refuse. From what I'd heard, Ludwin seemed an honorable man. Besides, there was much a lord of this Skydom could teach me. Very well. On behalf of our crew, I accept your request.
What level is he? Man, they made him 35. What are these moves? Honestly, this isn't necessary either. $43%. Not a lot. It is. Oh my god. What? What is this NPC? You even put an old man
Hans and
here.
Ludwin were waiting for me at the foot of Mount Nagelith.
It is an honor and a privilege to meet you, Sir Lancelot of Fiendrock. Hans has probably already told you who I am, but allow me to formally introduce myself.
My name is
am
Hove,
Ludwin, Lord Protector of Grossgard.
Though his aura was imposing and befitting of a lord, he also felt courteous and down to earth. The honor is mine. Though I am now no more than a skyfarer, I swear to protect you and yours with my life, should it come to it.
Well, whatever your title, I am glad to have your aid.
Ludwin was beaming. Hans had told me of his excessive devotion, but it was another thing seeing it in person. I suddenly felt I wasn't quite sure how to conduct myself. Right. So you believe a family heirloom is hidden among these peaks?
Not the sword itself, but the first of a series of trials that shall reveal the blade in due time.
I see. And what is the first trial?
There's a record somewhere around here which should detail the whereabouts of the sword. A little game of my family's, if you will.
Always
But
a sword.
on second thought, perhaps a great knight such as yourself has nobler things to do
How about a
than this
bow?
frivolous treasure hunt in the snow. Yes, perhaps we had better call it...
My lord.
Hans was stern, more mentor than butler.
The ancestral trials are not frivolous. Each one holds an important meaning. Those same challenges taught your father how to reign. Skies rest his soul.
Yes, you're quite right. Forgive me, Hans. So, with that settled, I shall count on you, Sir Lancelot, to provide the muscle. For as you may know, I am sadly little more than a statesman.
I am yours to command. With that, I unsheathed my twin blades and started our quest. The white dragon unfurls its wings. Come. I'll go on ahead and make sure the path is secure. For your own safety, try not to stray.
Oh, you let me know if I can be of assistance.
My lord, let's leave the fighting to the professionals, shall we?
Oh, yes, of course. Well then, Sir Lancelot, do what you do best.
They're actually letting me go over here. No dialogue.
Give it!
What? I can get up here like this? Nice. I'm surprised they let me do that. Truly. That's all it is.
The bridge is down! Now what will we do?
Let's search for another path. This mountain is vast. I doubt this is the only trail.
Let's hurry along. That looks like a way forward.
What's the camera doing?
Treacherous.
Please take the camera from me. Alright, well.
Too slow. God! Monsters!
Stay behind me. I'll deal with this. Stay focused. Away with you. I think that was the last of the monsters.
What glorious form, Sir Lancelot! It is a pleasure to watch you work.
Watch me work.
If you're unhurt, my lord, we had better proceed.
To breathe.
Yes. I actually did it.
By my blade! To be brained pop doodles. Do be careful, Sir Lancelot.
Don't worry. I'll close that distance in a heartbeat. Hurry! Away with you! Too slow. Is this a dead end? No. Look! A chest!
Looky here.
Wait. This monster.
Get behind me! A giant eyeball! I think I've read about this monster! Nazir Bonju!
Correct. Our crew has faced it once before.
Ah, such daring do, brave Lancelot!
Understood. Do not falter!
Terrifying beast!
Where does health go?
A single glance and I feel frozen solid!
We'll see which is colder. Its gaze or my frost.
We're gonna move. Oh my god, this thing.
You won't prevail! Let the frost take you! Check!
Stay focused!
Ice and freeze!
I believe we're safe now.
The
After
chest, I
this,
forgot.
it's back to training. Impressive! The Twin Fang prodigy does not disappoint.
Thank you, my lord. I hadn't done much during our climb, so the praise caught me unawares. Shall we check this chest? It could contain the record you seek.
Yes? Let's see what she's holding.
The young lord opened the box. A rather dry affair, as we already knew what to expect.
And here it is!
In his hands, he held a flaking tome, its pages warped and yellowed by age.
This takes me back. Once upon a winter, I sought out that very book with Ludwin's father.
And now it's been passed to me. But this...
As Ludwin flitted through the pages, his face twisted into expressions of greater and greater perplexity.
I can't read this at all! Is this some sort of code?
I suppressed the urge to take a glance myself. My duty was to protect, not translate. In the end, it was Hans who broke the silence.
If it pleases his lordship, shall I offer a hint?
Ludwin shook his head.
No, this is a trial that I must conquer myself. And on that note, I believe you are dismissed, Sir Lancelot. I thank you for your services today, and payment will be made forthwith.
Understood. If ever you need my help again, do not hesitate to call. Thus, my private escort mission ended without much fanfare. And yet, I had a feeling that our paths would cross once again. At least, I hoped that they would. There was something about Ludwin. His earnestness, perhaps, and his love for his comrades that resonated with me.
Good day.
Ludwig and Kaiser. Okay.
My premonition proved correct.
His lordship finds himself in need of your assistance once more.
Hans's voice was almost apologetic. What troubles him?
You remember the record we found on our previous trek, don't you?
I nodded. The Lord of Grossgard was searching for a family heirloom, and this record detailed its whereabouts. However, the directions were written in code, which Ludwin had yet to decipher.
He told me, and I quote, "Hans, don't you dare bother the charming and brave Lancelot over a mere trifle." But he hasn't made any headway on his own, and I've no doubt he's secretly yearning for your aid.
I looked at the butler with some confusion. Hans, I recall you saying you'd already completed the trial with Ludwin's father.
Indeed.
then your assistance would be far more valuable than mine.
Come now, it is a butler's duty to serve his liege's best interests, and Lord Ludwin's shall be best served with my silence.
I suppose Ludwin would never grow if Hans simply led him to the answers. Better that we pieced out the puzzle together. Very well. I accept your request.
I thank you, on behalf of his lordship.
Now I was beginning to grasp at the deeper meaning behind these tests.
Alright, that is everyone now.
Which will
Best
it
they
be?
got. Well, I'm not gonna do the main story now. It's definitely way too. We try to get some.
Will you take this one? Be on your way.
I get this guy out the party.
For the skies and her people.
But hey, yeah. Wake a dive.
All rivers lead to the sea. I will love it. Welcome to my
Thank
throne.
you, Captain.
Can't keep up. Let
Keep up! You won't prevail!
Okay, okay.
It's over already? Boy, you're on a roll.
Lovely.
Wonderful.
Do we get experience for these? First time clear?
Goodbye. You won't be remembered.
We did not get any experience. But yes, he should not. Land beast plate.
Oh, this one? Will you take this one? Be on your way.
Big sister will help you fight. The tide rises. Wind and the wind. Great support. John brought three flutters. Let us take them right away.
Stay cautious.
Rain.
You made that look easy.
Lucky me. Lovely. I am strong.
$700 experience. Still not good. Not bad, but not good. Great shield fragment. Seems like you want to do at least all of them once. Probably do the others later.
Good day. This one?
Or at least the bosses.
Here are the details. We're counting on you.
Hold on.
All rivers lead to the sea. Wind in the field. Oh, Captain!
Welcome
Life
to
is
my tribe.
Come what may. Let dawn fly stand. The final crescent moon.
Looking good.
There. No mercy.
You're mine. Take this.
Let us prepare for the next battle.
Yes.
Right.
Again.
I should have just blocked. I keep forgetting I could just block. Earth Shaker.
Not yet. Were you worried? Burst! Foam on the sea.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Captain. We got them. Speak, my lord. The tide rises.
Our
When it
goal's
must
in
be
sight.
done, let us carve our way through the final. Can't keep up. Float. Refreshing. Well, that is my God. Crescent moon.
I might blink.
Foam on the sea. Stay vigilant.
Very well.
Okay. Throw you off balance. Once more.
Rage! You won't prevent. Beat him down.
I won't disappoint you. Dawn
Everyone
flight.
okay?
My hero. That falls.
Looking good. Bring him out. Armor break.
Cast away.
Come, Crimson Thorn.
Let foam on the sea.
Looking good.
Oh, that should be the last of them, which means quest complete.
Lucky me. Lovely. Farewell.
Envy me, envy me. Where's the levels? You got one level? Brother in Christ.
Need something? Which will it be? Here are the details. Best of luck.
zombie.
Big sister will help you fight. Rain on the hill. I will love you tender. Life is a dark. Thank you, Captain. Come, my son. Come again. The butterfly. Not yet. Evanescence to victory!
On me!
Here we are. Marvelous.
I guess so. No matter what dangers lie ahead, we'll be ready.
What's this? Crescent moon. Come, crimson thorn. The final. Come, a bloom for all. Stay vigilant. Very well. What do you think? The tide rises. Wind in the field. Life is great support. Crimson sword.
Bro, what? The wave.
Rain on the hills. Crimson sword. Letter.
What the hell?
Just like that. Forward. Shall we? Gather. Stay focused.
Yes! Very well.
Let's get going. One stroke. 1,000 deaths.
Why am I the only one with charge?
Butterfly effect. Moonrise.
No one's even close.
Decay. Letter. Wind in the field. The tide rises. Strong, my God.
Nice!
You're right. We've been lost to anger.
The blaze.
Foam on the sea. Full bloom. A bloom for floats to come. The pond. Slate on a bed of thorns. Solid power. Nightfall. Speak. Come, Captain.
Loud and clear!
Not now, not ever. The final song.
Lancelot!
Yes, Captain.
I see you.
Fly.
Get him! Oblivion fall!
You made that look easy.
Wonderful. Lovely. Goodbye. You won't be remembered.
Lord of Crits. Hold on. What's going on here? What is Lancelot doing? Still not really getting that much experience.
Hello. Let's see.
Oh yeah, I think that's it for
Please come
now.
again.
Not expecting all this, but that happened. Next, we'll continue the story. And I guess finish it? I don't even.
Need some muscle.
Pow! They'll never see me coming.
This is a pet-friendly mission, right?
Yeah, I'm still out of here. Peace.